Good morning. Good morning. We're just about to start the program now.
Yes.
We are just going to start the program with the lighting of the lamp. I request the Master of Ceremony, Balram Naik, to take over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Om Shri Manjunatheshwara Maha. Seeking the blessings of the Lord Manjunatheshwara, offering salutations to our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Virendra Hegdeji, members of BOG, guest speaker, Dr. Ravi, and then members of others who are connected on the virtual meet, dignitaries in the August Hall. So, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Niranjan Kumar Sir, Srimati Padmalata Niranjan Kumar Madam, Mr. Saket Shetty, Pro Vice Chancellors, Registrar, Finance Officer, Mr. Prabhu, so Madam Ratnamala, other principals and then heads of the department. Good afternoon to one and all. So said Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Also said Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Today is the day of rejoice because we have assembled to celebrate the anniversary of our esteemed university. Today is also the day of pride because we have been adjudged the top emerging private university. Today is the day to remain motivated because motivation got us started. Today is the day to remain persistent because the habit of persistence is the habit of victory. Today is the day to take a pledge because we are on the verge of preparing a roadmap for Vision 2030. Today is the day to say we can because I can is the language of life and I can't is the language of death. On this note, I, Dr. Balram Naik, Principal of STM College of Dental Sciences, feel proud and then honored to be Master Ceremony for today's function. To begin with the function, so light expels darkness, light signifies knowledge and enlightenment. All activities should be governed by the light of knowledge. So we shall begin today's auspicious function by lighting of the holy lamp. So Deepak Jyotir Namostate. I now request our dignitaries on the dais and also our Honorable Chancellor to join us for the lighting ceremony. So along with our guest of honor, guest speaker, so Dr. Ravi, for the virtual lighting of the lamp. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you very much, sir. And then thank you very much, madam, too. Kindly be seated. Thank you very much to all the dignitaries. Okay, okay. I would like to express my salutations to Hemavati Amma also. So, and then on behalf of all the dignitaries on the dais and then the university executives, I welcome Madam also. So, prayer is an invocation or an act to activate and invoke divine blessings, recharge energies of body, mind, and spirit. Our Vedas say reciting a Rudra helps us to overcome our fears, giving us clarity of mind, promotes health, happiness, and prosperity. So let us all join our hands as I invite Shri Ananta Achari to recite the Rudra and invoke the divine presence. Acharji, please.
वाग्देवी नमो नमः। श्रीमन्मञ्जुनाथस्वामी नमो नमः। ॐ गणनान्त्वा गणपतिगुं भवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्त्रवम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पद आनशृण्वन्यो विश्वेढविस्साधनम् महागणपतये नमः। वाग्देवी नमो नमः। हरि ओम्। ओम नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ओम नमस्ते रुद्रमन्वभूतोदैषवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्मने बाबुभ्यामुदते नमः। या शिशितमा शिवं भवोपते धनुः शिवा शरव्या यावतया न रुद्रमुणायः। या ते रुद्रः शिवो तनाघोरस्य पापकाशिनी तया आनस्तु नुवाशतमाया गिरिशाञ्च अभिषिके यामिष्यो गिरिशहस्ते विवरष्टवे शिवं गिरित्रतां कुरुमाह्यं श्रीपुरुषं जगेतः शिवेन मनसत्वां गिरिशाञ्च वदामसि यथा सर्वमिच्छङ्गत यक्षमागं सुमन आसत आद्यवोच दधिभक्तो प्रथमो दैवोऽभिषेकः आयिगं सर्वज्झं वै यातु सर्वाच्च यातु ध्यानः अस्वारो यस्माना अरुण उतपपुर्सुमङ्गलः याचे माङ्गं रुद्रो अविशो शेषो शिशाच वैशाङ्गं ईडयीमहे असो ये योऽस सर्पति नीलगीर्वो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपादर्शन्नादर्शन्नर्थः उतैनं विश्वभूतानि स दृष्टो मृडायितः नमो अस्तु नीलगिर्वाय सहस्रक्षाय मीडुषे असो ये अस्वान्यं तेभ्यो क्रम नमः प्रमुञ्च मुवरारिग्नरो जतं याचते हस्तवपः परातो भगवपः अवत्वङ्गं धनस्वङ्गं सहस्रक्षाय शुतशुदे नीशिर्याशिल्यानं शिवनो भव नित्यं धन आविशल्यो बाणवाङ्गं मुदः अने सन्नस्ते शवे आवर्निशृङ्गतिः याते एतिर्माणमष्टदेहितम् ओम तया आनस्तु नो वा परिभुजा नमस्ते अश्वायुधा धृतरिष्टवे उभै नमो भावुभ्यां तव तन्वने परितो धन्वनो हेतिर्स्मानाङ्कृतविश्वतः अस्मादेहितं तया तं परितो धन्वनो हेतिस्मानाङ्कृतविषः अदो ये दिवासरे अस्मादेहितं शम्भवे नमः भगवन् अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहुवे सेनान्यादिचञ्चपतये नमो नमो ऋक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमो सस्पिञ्जराय तिषिमते पतिनां पतये नमो नमो बबुल्ष्याय निव्याधीरस्त्राणां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशयोपवितने पुष्पनां पतये नमो नमो भवस्तैः पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तदने क्षेत्रणां पतये नमो नमो सुहन्त्याय वरणां पतये नमो नमो रोहितायस्तापतये रुक्षिणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिज्याय क्षणां पतये नमो 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 भवन्ते वारिस्त्रिसाय औषधीनां पतये नमो नमः उच्चैषे एकं धीते पतिनां पतये नमो नमो कृष्णपते धावते सत्त्वानां पतये नमो नमः ॐ श्रीमन्महागणपतये नमः श्रीमञ्जुनाथस्वामी नमो नमः
Thank you very much, Anantachar, for the beautiful recitation and invoking Lord Manjunatheshwara. At this moment, I feel very happy and proud to welcome our Vice President Surendra Kumar Sarji also, and our one of the esteemed BOG member, Dr. C.N. Manjunath. Welcome to you, sir. So next, we have the welcome address and presentation of the university activities by our registrar, respected registrar. Yeah. So Colonel Dinesh sir.
Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. Honorable Chancellor Pujya Shri Virendra Hegde ji, Madam Hemavati, Shri Surendra Kumar, Vice President and Member Board of Governors, our beloved Vice Chancellor Dr. Niranjan Kumar, Srimati Padmalata Niranjan, Dr. Ravi, recipient of the first University Oration Award, Dr. Devi Shetty and Dr. C.N. Manjunath, Board of Governors members, Board of Management members, Principal of various institutes, Dr. Mr. Duggegoda, Regional Director of the SKDRP, Vice Principals of various institutes of our university, Heads of departments, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and greetings to all. It is my proud privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome to each one of you for the second anniversary of Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University. Many of you are online and the rest physically present here today. With that brief but very warm and cordial welcome, I proceed to my next task of the report of the university. 19th December 2018 was the date on which our Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University was notified by the government of Karnataka during the assembly session as at Belagavi. The second year started with inaugurating the University Cultural Club on 19th December 2019, when the first newsletter of the university was released. A month later, our Honorable Chancellor, a keen photographer himself, inaugurated the Photography Club of the university by shooting pictures on this very stage. The most important and glorifying event of the year was the rankings, when our Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University earned the proud distinction of being ranked number 1 in the University of Emerging Private Universities in the country by Outlook iCare India University Ranking Survey 2020. Our constituent institutions followed suit with Medical College, Dental, the College of Physiotherapy and the Institution of Nursing also being ranked very high in various surveys. Other achievements. Our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Niranjan Kumar, was conferred Vaidya Shri 2020 award by Shri Monashappa Katti Kala Spandane Trust, Hassan. Dr. Abhijit Joshi, Professor Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, secured second prize in the World International Team for Implantology Video Competition, and he has been invited as a faculty to Davos, Switzerland. Dr. Vijay Kulkarni, Professor and HOD Pediatrics, was awarded Fellow of the Indian Academy of Pediatrics for his outstanding contribution to pediatrics. Dr. Ratnamala Desai, Principal of our medical college, has been recognized as a coach for online training by the Geneva Foundation for Medical Education and Research. Dr. Satish Patil from Physiology was awarded Paul Dudley White International Scholar Award by the American Heart Association. Our staff, Dr. Veena Kulkarni and Dr. Rakesh Kumar from the Department of Anatomy, have authored a book, Practical Manual and Workshop of Histology. Our faculty have successfully completed international courses in football medicine, nephropathology, and gastrointestinal pathology. Various other students of all the institutes during the years have won prizes and certificates for their presentations at various fora. I'm not going into it, only the international ones I have already enumerated. Achievements in sports, staff and students, our faculty have not lagged behind on the sports field, winning in various events. Guest lectures and webinars. Various guest lectures and webinars have been conducted by the university and its constituent institutes. The university invited Dr. Katimani, Vice Chancellor of Rural Tribal University, Andhra Pradesh, for webinar on new national education policy. University webinar on nanotechnology in medical field, promises and challenges, organized by SDM RIBS. And this topic is a favorite of our Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. S.K. Joshi. A total of more than 25 webinars were organized by the university and its institute. The university co-sponsored the 47th conference of the Karnataka chapter of Indian Association of Pathologists and Microbiologists, and it was held virtually, and the Department of Pathology organized it with assistance from the IT department. Due to COVID-19, all the departments of all institutes had risen to the occasion of the pandemic and conducted classes, webinars, etc. through the online modality, improving patient management and upgradation of facilities at its constituent institutes. Critical care ICU with 20 beds and a new pediatric ICU with 23 beds was inaugurated during the year. In microbiology, NABL accredited RT-PCR lab for diagnosis of COVID-19 was started and now augmented with gene expert automated RT-PCR and automated nucleic acid extraction machine, especially for handling COVID samples. Advanced pathology lab with facilities for decahead microscope, immunofluorescence, and immunohistochemistry for advanced diagnosis has been installed. Digital X-ray system has been installed in the X-ray department, and it was found that it was very useful during these hard-pressed COVID-19 days. The SDM College of Dental Sciences and Hospital, Vista scan equipment for digitalization of X-ray viewing, CAD-CAM machine for advanced treatment purposes, stereo microscope with camera for oral pathology has been installed. We have upgraded the dental mess kitchen with the latest cooking technology. Other activities. The cultural club had organized a kite and food festival with many of our own senior faculty who flew kites as well as set up food stalls. Celebrations of various international days like International Women's Day, World Kidney Day, World Blood Donors Day, International Nurses Day were organized. Various programs like Rashtriya Poshan Ma, Adolescent Triumph program, school health program, and Swachhata campaign were also observed. School adoption program by the university. Special mention of this pet project of our Honorable Chancellor has to be made. Discussions are in progress in which our university will be adopting 10 government primary schools in the district for their development. COVID-19 success story of the university. The global pandemic COVID-19 did not spare Dharwad, and it reached here with the first case of our district at our own SDM hospital. Once the infection started spreading, it disrupted daily hospital functioning, and every patient was viewed with an eye of suspicion. The management ensured meetings of the university, as all our meetings have been virtual meetings. MOUs and collaborations. To the various MOUs and collaborations during the year, adding to the list of the earlier ones, very recently the University of Glaxo evinced interest of collaborating with our interests, our university, and talks have been initiated just 3 days back and will be taken forward by way of knowledge and skill exchange. Academic courses and admissions. The university has added programs to those already functional and running. We have started PhDs, fellowships, MSCs, MSc in biomedical sciences, and general duty healthcare assistant course. We are planning more skill development courses as well as increase of seats in various programs including MBBS. The admission process for PGs have been completed, and UGs, it is presently in progress. Examinations. We conducted our first university exams, MDS Part 1, on 28 July 2020 and announced a record of 9 days on 6 The whole and our youngest
many achievements in a short period of time. And all this is possible and then vice president and also at the local level, all the team, all the executives. So next we have
Om Shri Honorable Chancellor, and Srimati Shri Surendra Kumar, members of the and Srimati and today's oration by for which I was not prepared and I never thought about it. And I said, sir, I need some time to think about. He said, okay, there's no problem. Think about it. Then you say yes. So when he says, I can't say no. So I took up this great responsibility. When an opportunity comes, I think we should take it up and live up to it. At this outset, I wish to thank Pujya Shri Virendra Hegdeji for giving us this opportunity to create this university and grow, and for all the support and the vision and the path which he has shown. I would like to thank the entire team of the university, the two Vice Chancellors, the registrars, the controller of the exam, and all the head of the units for working together to make this a great success. I also want to thank the BOG, the BOM members, and also I want to thank Professor Kaverappa, who initially helped us in building this university, and Professor Yashavarma and Mr. Surendra Kumar. I thank my family to be with me in all these difficult times, in going up and down, and my idiosyncrasies. And also I want to thank the office and the office members of the Vice Chancellor for being with me and bearing with my irritations and sometimes losing my cool. They stood with me in all with my difficult times. I also want to thank the registrar, the finance officer, and the young member Saket in the university to be part of it in the control of the examiners. Acharya Tarun Sagarji said, if hard work is an ingredient for success, then people will working in the hot sun in the middle of the field and the roads should be successful. If the knowledge is the key to success, then every professor should be very successful. Then there must be a third ingredient which makes our act a successful and satisfying. I feel that is the God's grace. So on this occasion, I seek the blessing of the Almighty on behalf of the whole university. In the last 2 years, I feel the 1 year should be deleted. In that short time, our achievement is not very small. I'm proud to say our university stood #1 in the emerging university category. Also, our each institution scored very high rank in the national survey. The Nelson Mandela said, if you want to destroy the nation, you don't need bombs or terrorists. Only you have to lower the standard of education. SDM concentrates mainly on the quality of education. Our Honorable Chancellor gives maximum importance to the quality of education. Our institutions stand for all overall well-being of the society. We stand for the well-being of the society to take care of the health and the education. For this, you need a well-equipped hospital, a well-equipped state-of-the-art theaters, and you need a good doctors who could take care of all our patients. And also we want to produce good doctors who are technically sound. More than that, they should be good human beings who care for the patients. There's a great demand for health workers, nearly 4.5 million across the world, which we are really in short supply. Here we are trying to create more and more technical jobs who could be the health workers and who could go out and help throughout the world. But also we are going to create many job opportunities for the local population. I feel sad for 2020. Many sad and miserable things have happened across the planet in this pandemic area. Many lost their lives, many lost their loved ones. We're all sensitive to their pain and we feel bad about it. Sometimes crisis teaches us all us many things. Friedrich Nietzsche said, chaos gives birth to dancing stars. Whenever there's a chaos, new things emerges. Every time during crisis, human beings has risen above and created a better society and healthy human beings. Crisis taught us and sometimes also it gave us time to think about ourselves. And we come to know what is more important in our lives: family, friends, relationships. Also, we learned how little we need during this period. Probably in the last 3 months, I bought only the soap and the toothpaste. We realized and saw people treating each other in a better way with more respect and more and justice and fairness. As we couldn't go outside, we went inside to reclaim gifts given by the gods and wake up to who we are. Surprisingly, pollution is less due to less traffic, giving Earth a chance to recover. What a caterpillar thinks as an end is actually the beginning of the butterfly. And thereby, I hope there's a better future and brighter one. Old must give way to the new. New way of teaching and learning, conducting conferences, etc. online we started. Ours is the first private university to start the paperless exams to save the nature. It is one among the other many steps we have taken to make this campus more green and eco-friendly. All the changes looks hard in the first, messy in the middle, but it's beautiful in the end. The pandemic has taught us who the real heroes are. It's not the film stars or the cricket stars. They are the health workers and the soldiers. I'm grateful to the entire COVID team. I would love to call them as the dream team of my SDM. We have treated more than 2,000 COVID patients in our hospital. The world now needs time to heal. And this can be done by standing with each other, working with unity, with better relationship, and burying all the small issues in our life and overcoming the conflicts. If you ask me, what is the purpose of education? Education should set one free unconditionally. Education should set one free unconditionally. The free from the fear, free from jealousy, free from the anger, and etc. As I want to end this speech quoting Marcus Aurelius, ambitions means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happens to you. But real success, the real mastery, the real sanity comes, he says, comes only by tying it to your own action. The better you get, the more you are able to tie your identity to the only thing that matters, according to the Stoics, your own choices, your own work, your own judgment, everything else, the better you get, the less it matters. As Steve Jobs says, listen to your own inner voice. This work has given me more satisfaction than success. The success is always judged by the outside, the satisfaction what you get inside. With these few words, I like to thank the whole team, and also I want to thank for designing these beautiful shirts by Saket and Babana. And I also want to thank our beloved Chancellor for wearing this shirt with our logo. And probably Surendra Kumar has not received our shirts. It must be there in Bangalore, waiting for you. I want to conclude this saying that let's build a university which the country should be proud of. Let's build this university which the country should be proud of, and we should produce the doctors such that the university should be proud of. Thank you. Stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay hungry. Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir, for the beautiful, encouraging words. And we all feel really proud to work under your leadership, sir. Thank you. And on this occasion, I would like to express my sincere apology for the delay. I would like to welcome Mrs. Samhita also for this jubilant function. Thank you. So next. Yes, sir. Next. So next we have our newsletter committee, which has done a splendid work to prepare the newsletter within a short period of time. I now request our Honorable Chancellor, Pujya Shri Virendra Hegde ji, to release the university newsletter and also to address us and then bless us with his kind words. May I now request all the attendees here to raise for the newsletter release. Thank you.
So, Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. There's a demand from Srimati Hegde that the Vice Chancellor has sent only 2 shirts for me and the Vice President of the society. But she also, if you send, why didn't you send a sari with this logo? So anyway, I request her to release this newsletter and honor us by releasing the newsletter of the city.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inaugurating, releasing the newsletter. The plan is on for embroidery. It will reach there very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for release of the newsletter. So I sincerely request you to kindly bless us with your kind blessing. Thank you.
Offering my prayers to Shri Manjunath Swami, Shri Mahaganapati, the Dharma Devata of Dharmasthala, Chandanath Swami, Annappa Swami. It's a great pleasure to be in this occasion of celebration of the 2nd year of our establishing the university. In fact, I was saying that more than everything, I was so proud to say that there is a university established in the name of Lord Manjunatha Swami. For all the grace that he has conferred on us, we cannot offer him anything else than in developing the various activities of the institution and to see that it has become more valuable and universal. So I say it's a small offering to Lord Manjunatha Swami that a university has been established in his name. And I have been promoted as a chancellor of the university, and in my card, now I can print it as a chancellor of the university. And Dr. Niranjan, after a long service and I have been establishing himself as a very renowned plastic surgeon in the world. He had the rare opportunity of becoming a vice chancellor of the university. So recognized him, and I'm happy that we are joined by Dr. Manjunath and Dr. Shri Ravi, who will be addressing this conference a little later. I recognize the presence of the principal of the college, the registrar of the university, and all the dignitaries there, and my sister Lata, then Samhita and Saket Shetty, and all other being there. Now, I wish to give a small, I mean, I am also eager to hear Mr. Ravi, but still I will give you a small expression of my happiness over this. So we say that, it is said that do not be afraid of small beginning, great things come afterwards. It's a small beginning we have only of 2 years. But the 2 years have not been spent unworthy. We have been planning every time, and we have been great vision for the future. As it is said, the great things come for afterward, it has to come, but we have already started the expansion of the hostels so that the college may be having 50 more students than what it is now. Because many think that being a university, the number of students who are passing out of the college is too small. So we are expanding from 100 to 150. And we have many plans for the future. We want to develop a cancer institute. We want to develop a mother and child care unit. Of course, I'm very happy that we have renowned personalities like Dr. Manjunath who can support us. So all these things will come later. So I wish that in the days to come, we have to plan a very ambitious vision so that later we can achieve it with our own effort and with the blessings of Lord Manjunath Swami. It is very interesting to note that it is said that every duty is holy, and devotion to duty is the highest form of worship of God. Every duty is very holy. So all the audience who are present here, you are all given some responsibility or the other in the hospital or in the activities of the university. We have included dental college, nursing college, and also physiotherapy colleges with the university activity. So all of us have to dedicate ourselves and think that every small duty is so holy, and devotion to duty is the highest form of worship of God. So we are known for the services rendered by all the other paramedical staff, the other staff who are supporting the hospital. Every time I come to Dharwad, I am given some good news by Mr. Jivandar Kumar, our secretary of our society, by saying that, sir, this time we have many awards for the garden. So most of the awards of the corporation of Dharwad, best gardening, is received by medical, dental, or somewhere. So they are always ready with some good news for me. They always used to say, sir, the hostel college strength is very good, and the services rendered to the patients are very encouraging. And also they say that we have in our maternity section, the deliveries conducted every month is more than 300 to 400. So this means that the service rendered by the hospital and the training given to the students are very useful. So unless the hospital is active, the students cannot be trained. It is said that we want the education, we want that education by which character is formed. We are not there to only give a certificate and send them out without character. So the SDM brand is for character and for discipline. We always say, whatever establishment made by Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Educational Society, we see that the students pass out with highest character and highest commitment for their duty. So it is always said, take courage and work on. Patience and steady work is the only way to achieve success. So I always feel that the leadership matters. So I'm happy that the leadership given by Dr. Niranjan as Vice Chancellor, the heads of the institution and others there. So we are already gaining some importance. We have been all India recognition already. It is said that the history of the world is the history of few men who had faith in themselves. So I want all of you to have faith in yourselves. So never give up. And she always say that I am capable of doing, I am capable of delivering, I am capable of conducting my department or my small duty in the hospital so well. So always my sister Lata says that the caterer there, like the maintenance department, the service department, security department, they're all committed. So it's a commitment of the whole team which makes a unit very successful. So I am very happy that we have an ambition, we have a vision, we have a mission. So with this, we can develop our institution with all commitment. It is said that the great aim of education is knowledge, but not knowledge, but action. So it is what our students do after their education in institution is more important than how they pass out of the college. So I wish that all of you are committed to this excellence of the university, and I pray Manjunath Swami to bless us all and to see that the institution will grow to greater heights. And this is only second year of our establishment, but in the years to come, we should be number one in the country. We should be recognized in the international level by not only the degree we impart, but also quality of training we give. And there is all possibility of being distinctive. We need not say we are one among the other universities. There are so many universities. When our university was recognized in the press, I wrote a letter to the other university saying that at least you are in the second or third. They immediately responded, sir, in being first is always the pride, not the being the second. So we have to be always the best. We have to be always the first, but not only in the grading of the press, but also the faith developed in the society. When patients come to me and tell me in Dharmasthala, sir, we were into the hospital, we were treated well, we were attended well, the staff took care of us, there was a sympathy, there was love and affection shown to the patients. So this is what pleases me more than the other appreciations we get. And during COVID-19 situation, you have reacted well, and we have supported the patients, we have supported the society, we have done our best to the government to see that our share of service to the human agony is well attended. So again, I mean, giving up, accept my appreciation, and I wish you all the best. I pray Manjunath Swami to bless us all for greater success in the years to come. And I wish that Dr. Manjunath will speak one or two words for the occasion. May Manjunath Swami bless us all.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a great occasion and also a privilege to be part of this today's meeting on the occasion of celebrating the second anniversary of Lord Manjunatheshwara University at Dharwad. In fact, it is truly a rural medical college because there are many medical colleges in tier 1 cities and little bigger cities. So this Dharmasthala Medical College at Dharwad is really catering to the needs of people of that region, spread over Hubli, Dharwad, Haveri, Gadag, even beyond. So as Rajeshri Virendra Hegde said, So it is not just enough if you get degrees. If it's not enough, you just get a bigger qualification. So ultimately, we have to be very kind-hearted. This is one profession actually which requires a lot of humanitarian approach, and our whatever knowledge we acquire, that should be passed on to people and the common man in action. And another important thing, this is one of the greatest noble profession, because ultimately your service is recognized by the society. That's what. When a doctor walks on the road, people always look at him. This is a unique recognition. Anybody can get this sort of recognition. And again, most important is yes, the humanitarian approach, the kindness. There's a popular saying, kindness makes the person most beautiful, however one can look. And particularly the quality of education, because it has been said by many leaders, collapse of education is collapse of nation actually. So this is where the medical profession, you have lot of you have gone through a lot of hardships, and this is one profession, because I mean, we have to go on learning. Life never stops teaching, and we have to go on learning, and that is the beauty of this profession. And you should always smile without any condition. This, you should smile without any condition, and you should talk without any intention, and you should also help without any expectation. That is the beauty of this noble profession. It's very, very important. And sky is the limit. And yes, you have all a great future. And only thing is, you have to go slow. There is nothing like an escalator. It's all step by step. And most important is, this is one profession where not only you'll be proud of your own qualification, your parents will be proud of your. They are always proud to say, my children are doctors. They are doing a great service and all. And probably this COVID-19 has given such an importance, how important is life is. In fact, if you visit 3 places, you can understand the entire life cycle. You visit an hospital and look at the patient and see, then you realize how important is health. Then you visit a prison, then you realize how important is the freedom. Then you visit a cemetery, then you realize nothing comes with you. What comes with you is the important achievements and the important steps you are left behind. And I'm very happy to say the Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Medical College has been ranked on top of the list in the private sector. It's a great credit to Rajeshri Virendra Hegdeji, and also to Niranjan and all his team. It's a teamwork actually. So this is one institution which is providing a quality services at an affordable cost to cross section of the society, and free treatment in deserving poor. And they've established a super specialty hospital, both cardiology, the nephrology, and plastic surgery. So many super specialty services. So definitely, this is one of the greatest contribution of this society to the common man. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So I would like to wholeheartedly express our gratitude for the encouraging and motivating words to our Honorable Chancellor on behalf of all of us assembled here. I would also like to thank Dr. Manjunath, sir, for being amongst us and then sparing time, and also addressing us also. We know, sir, the kind of service you have been giving to the citizens of Karnataka. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So next, as a part of the celebration, so we have the cake cutting by our Honorable Vice Chancellor Niranjan Kumar, sir, and Srimati Padmalata Niranjan Kumar, and also watering of the saplings that are made available there. Thank you, sir.
I like to thank the whole newsletter is designed, edited, and brought out by Swami Kalsurmat. It's so beautifully done. I think probably you'll see it, all the things you can go through it.
Thank you, sir.
I like to call to the dais the two of the senior most members of our institution, Professor Vittal Rao, request you to come with us. And other is Mr. Prabhu. Jivandar and Professor Joshi to kindly come, and the registrar, please.
Yes, sir. So that's, thank you very much, sir. That's as part of STM tradition. So we have the beautiful couple so doing watering for the sapling also.
Manjunath Swami ki jai.
Jai. Jai. Yeah. So may I now request our Vice Chancellors to stay on the stage itself for the release of video also. I request VC Sir and then Madam Padmalata to release the beautiful video. So that has been again created by our social media team. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
In Sanskrit, that's a word which says, Abhijnanena Sadrisha. There is no equivalent to knowledge. So we follow the three truths of knowledge: Samyak Jnana, Samyak Darshan, and Samyak Charitra. So first is acquiring the right knowledge and right understanding. This is very important. And bringing into action is Samyak Charitra. So these three are our goals. And in the university, we try to follow the giving right knowledge and making them really understanding it by working in the hospital. And when they go out, there is not only doctors, but doctors of high character and towards service motto. So I wish our university will practice it and propagate it.
Known for its quality education, SDM institutes are spread across the state.
SDM University just completed 2 years. This young university is created by Pujadi Viren Hegde. It's a great moment for all of us. This university came into existence with a great reason and a cause. We want to produce not only a good, technically sound professionals, we also want to produce who are good human beings. The education should bring out the creativity of every child so that he can grow and be useful to the society. The hidden talent should bring out by the education. And as well as these people should be able to think freely. They should be knowing how to think and what to think. That's what the education should do. This is what we are trying to create in this university. The education should also teach the art of living. The education should teach the new students the value of life and the principles in the life. We want to produce the future leaders of this country. We like to create an university which the country should be proud of. There's a great need of health workers. The whole world needs more than 4 million health workers other than the doctors. There's a great shortage for this. We are planning to produce many health workers in the next 4 or 5 years. I strongly believe in humanity. We are very adaptable, we are innovative, and we can survive. I'm very sure we'll rise above all this crisis, and tomorrow is going to be progress.
Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University was established in December 2018 as a state private university with 5 constituent units. Established in the year 1986, SDM College of Dental Sciences and Hospital is one of the premier institutes in Asia. Next in line was SDM College of Physiotherapy, started in the year 1996, which has students from across the country. SDM College of Medical Sciences and Hospital has emerged as one of the pioneer institutes in the field of medicine from its inception in the year 2003. To cater the nursing services for enormous patient load, SDM Institute of Nursing Sciences was founded in the year 2006. Most recent addition to the SDM family is the world-class Research Institute for Biomedical Sciences, which was unveiled in the year 2016. All the constituent units have well-trained and experienced faculty to ensure that students receive complete and optimal training. Patient inflow to both outpatient and inpatient is massive. Added to this, the institutes have state-of-the-art diagnostic and therapeutic facilities. To make learning and stay comfortable, all campuses have a comprehensive library, clean hostels, and a hygienic mess. With focus on all-round development of students, importance to sports, cultural activities, and yoga is given in our eco-friendly and ragging-free campuses. The cultural, photography, and literary clubs tickle the artistic sides of students and faculty. As a result of a year's good performance, Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University has earned #1 in emerging universities across the country. We don't stop here. The journey of success continues with our future plans.
That was really a beautiful presentation. I really like to thank the social media department for the beautiful presentation. So next is the most awaited guest lecture by our guest speaker, Dr. Ravi. May I now request our young Deputy Registrar, so Dr. Ajanta, to introduce our guest speaker of the day. Thank you.
Om Shri Manjunatheshwaraya Namaha. Good afternoon to one and all. Speaker for our first university oration. 2020 has been completely dominated by a virus, coronavirus, and the associated pandemic of COVID-19. Therefore, when it came to choosing a topic for the oration, decision was probably easy on viruses. And in fact, this made the decision on who should be the speaker further easy. Yes, I am referring to one of the prominent faces of international virologists. He is a retired senior professor of neurovirology in NIMHANS, Bengaluru. He did his MBBS from Madras Medical College, MD microbiology from JIPMA. Then in 1985, he moved to NIMHANS and he established the Department of Neurovirology there. And he served as head of the department until March 2016. His major interests are public health virology, pathogenesis and immune responses of viral infections of CNS, and then development of indigenous diagnostic assays. He is there in almost every outbreak investigation of encephalitis, dengue, H1N1, and chikungunya in our country. He has worked with almost all the prestigious international, national, and state healthcare agencies, including CDC, WHO, NIV, National AIDS Research Institute, and also ICMR. He has patents to his credit, more than 200 research papers, and more than 25 chapters in books and monographs. About the awards and honors, I'll name a few. ICMR Eminent Medical Virologist Award, then Eminence in Virology Award of Indian Virology Society. He is the honorary visiting professor of microbiology and immunology at University of Liverpool, UK, International Fellow of the American Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. He has served as the president of Indian Association of Medical Microbiologists. During this COVID-19 times, Government of India and ICMR have made him the nodal officer and also the mentor of COVID testing laboratories in Karnataka. So he has guided in establishing more than 128 COVID laboratories in Karnataka, including our own SDM laboratory. Being a medical microbiologist, I have heard him on multiple occasions, right from my postgraduate days in conferences and workshops. And authority on virology, but also an excellent orator. So it is said in Tirukural some 2000 years ago by Saint Tiruvalluvar, anybody can complicate the simple, but it demands knowledge to simplify the complicated. So dignitaries online and offline, my dear colleagues and all the invitees, to simplify a complicated issue like how to live with viruses, to deliver the first university oration, Learning to Live with Viruses, please welcome Professor Virus Ravi. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to say I'm extremely grateful and feel privileged and proud to deliver this oration. Honorable Chancellor Pujya Shri Virendra Hegde ji, Madam Hemawati ji, Vice President Surendra Kumar ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor Niranjan Kumar ji, Registrar Colonel Dinesh, Member of Board of Governors and my dear friend and well-wisher Professor Manjunath, Dr. Devi Shetty, and my dear friend in SDM Dharwad, Professor R.D. Kulkarni, members of the faculty, students, and ladies and gentlemen. These are unprecedented times, and if I may be permitted to share the screen. I have entitled this oration as Living with Viruses. I've been in virology for 4 decades. I started my career in 1980 in virology. And I've learned to respect viruses. Indeed, you will all agree that all life forms should be respected. And in the 40 years, I have become an advocate for viruses. Not that I am not a well-wisher of human beings, but I've learned a great deal working with viruses, and I will share that experience with you on how we should learn to live with viruses. What I will do in the next 30 minutes is to tell you why we need to learn to live with viruses, what are viruses, why are they here to stay forever? They are going to stay as long as we stay on this planet. Where do they exist? Where do we stand today with respect to viruses? Why do they periodically emerge and how do we tackle them? How do we tackle future emergence of viruses? What are the challenges and opportunities for the future? Because in every calamity, there is an opportunity, and I'm sure most of you are aware of that. And summarize what I have to say in the last slides. Why do we learn to live with viruses? Why should I don't know how many of you know an estimated 10 nonillion. Nonillion is a number which is mind boggling, which is 10 to the power 31. You all know 10 to the power 6 is a million, but this is much, much more than that. Viruses exist on our planet. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised in a World Congress of Virology to learn that 60% of the ocean mass is viruses. They contribute a great deal to diversity, to evolution, and to the existence of many other living forms in this universe. Mammals and birds alone have 1.7 million undiscovered types of viruses, and over 200 viruses are known to cause diseases in humans and are capable of breaking into human cells. In the last 2 decades, from the turn of the century, we have had periodic emergence of a number of viruses, and the most common among them are viruses with RNA's genetic material. This includes SARS, Ebola, MERS, Zika, and the H1N1 pandemic, and recently, in the last 1 year, the SARS-CoV-2 virus. You may also be interested to know that genetically, during evolution, viruses have got integrated into human genome, and there are small bits of virus DNA known as endogenous retroviruses. Now, they have a great role to play both in human evolution, sometimes even human routine function, like the insertion of endogenous retrovirus in human pancreatic gene is responsible for making an enzyme amylase that actually help us digest food. So point number one, viruses are not necessarily bad creatures. What are viruses? A high school definition will tell you that viruses are ultra microscopic, meaning you cannot see them under light microscope. They're so tiny that you'll need an electron microscope. And they consist of a single type of genetic material. You all know that genetic material exists in two forms, RNA and DNA. Viruses have only one of them. All other living creatures in the universe will have both RNA and DNA. They're very simple in their structure. They have genetic material in the center, which is surrounded by a protein shell, and some of them may or may not wear an envelope over and above this protein shell. Sir Peter Medawar, who was a Nobel laureate, very beautifully summarized what is a virus in simple language. He said it's a piece of bad news wrapped in a protein coat. Although viruses are very simple in structure, they are highly evolved when it comes to their multiplication. In fact, they are obligatory intracellular parasites. What does this mean in simple language? Viruses cannot exist outside a living cell. So there is this parallel argument going on among evolutionary biologists whether viruses are the highest form of life. The argument facilitating that is that they require a living cell, or they are the most primitive form of life because they have the simplest structure. I think this is a parallel argument that will go on. Why are viruses here to stay forever? Viruses have very distinct advantages that help them biologically to survive for a long time. First and foremost, because they're very simple in their structure, they multiply very fast, they replicate rapidly. In fact, millions of viral particles can be produced from cells in a few hours. It is estimated that HIV virus, almost a billion particles are produced in a few days. Viruses continuously keep changing their structure. We call them in technical language as mutation. Why do they mutate? And this is a property of RNA viruses because the enzyme that replicates the virus makes mistakes. It's a bad photocopying machine. Each time it replicates the genetic codes of a virus, it makes a mistake. One nucleotide is different. If you take DNA viruses, they have the ability to integrate into host genome, be it plant, animal, or human genome. They can integrate and remain latent for several years. An example is herpes. We all get infected in childhood, but it can reactivate in our old age. So this is another advantage. And lastly, most importantly, especially in the present context, they have the ability to jump from one species to another. Where do they exist? In fact, I would recommend most of you to read this wonderful book by Robin Morans Hennig, which is called Dancing Matrix, where beautifully the author provides evidence to say that viruses live in their own niches and their corridors. It is in nature, and especially in the flora and fauna of the planet. And it is man who deliberately has crisscrossed this corridor and ravaged environment and attracted these viruses to themselves, causing huge outbreaks. So these events of when a virus jumps from a bird or an animal to human being or other life forms is called a spillover event. While I'm on this slide, on the right, you will see a beautiful Venn diagram where environment, animal health, and human health all overlap. And today, one of the major specialities emerging across disciplines is One Health. We should learn to respect environment and other life forms and should not be a selfish species on this planet. Spillover events occur very frequently, and they've been occurring very frequently in the last 20 years. You can see why this spillover occurs. In the bottom, there are two pictures. One is a market in Vietnam, and the other is the Wuhan wet market, where there is tremendous crowding of various life forms. You can see aquatic animals, you can see birds, you can see other mammals and human beings all crowding. This is where viruses spill over from one species to another. In the top right panel, I'm showing you a cartoon that bats and rodents are the biggest reservoirs of coronaviruses. In fact, the first SARS outbreak that occurred in 2003 was a result of spillover from a bat to a civet cat. And this cat was sold in markets and it spilled over from cats to human beings. The Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, MERS coronavirus, emerged in Middle East in 2012. It was a spillover from a bat to a camel. And the latest SARS-CoV-2 was a spillover from bats to an anteater known as pangolin. Both bats and pangolins incidentally were sold in the Wuhan market, and it is presumed that the spillover occurred in this market. This slide shows you on the left a pie diagram which tells you where bats live. Majority of bats live in Asia and Europe and in Africa and South America. Very few live in Europe. The reason I'm trying to tell you is that we should expect the next pandemic or the next emerging virus to occur in either Africa, Asia, or South America, which constitutes more than 60% of the bat population. And bats harbor close to 110 viruses that can cause disease in human beings. Why do diseases emerge and re-emerge? There are a number of factors which I have listed on this slide. The first and foremost being genetic and biological factors. Viruses, as I said, have an advantage of mutation, so they can mutate and become more infectious. But largely, viruses emerge because of human behavior, be it political, be it social, or be it economic. All these activities result in increased contact with animals and birds. Let me give you examples. For example, we do not give any consideration to the environment. We build dams across without taking proper advice from ecologists. You build a dam, it's good for human beings. You need water. At the same time, a water body will attract mosquitoes, will attract birds, and then you'll set off an outbreak. Classical example, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever that emerged in 1960 in Africa. And the second classical example in our own country is paddy cultivation in areas where it was not being done earlier, which brought in stagnant water, migratory birds, and set off outbreaks of Japanese encephalitis virus. We also have a number of societal events such as economic impoverishment, war, and conflict also contributing. And above all, climatic changes, especially global warming, as well as deforestation. In our own state, people have started deforesting Western Ghats, and we have the emergence of a disease known as Kyasanur forest disease, which was initially in the 50s found only in Sagar Taluk. Today, it has spread from there and causes outbreaks in 5 states, right from Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu along the Western Ghats. So I think we should realize that urbanization is an example of dengue spreading. So we do not pay attention to what is known as public health engineering. Look at HIV. It is an example of human behavior resulting in spread of the disease. Look at mad cow disease that emerged in UK. It emerged because of the greed for production of more beef. Cows are vegetarians and they were fed with remnants of sheep spinal cord in which there was a virus. And this, when the cows ate, it became mad cow disease. And human beings who ate this beef developed mad cow disease. So here are enough examples of how human beings behave because of their behavior have contributed to emergence of viruses. Where do we stand in 2020? I've given you a century of tombstones left behind by viruses and viral outbreaks. It started more than a century ago with the huge outbreak of Spanish flu. 50 million people died. Periodically, you've been having emergence of different types of flu. In the mid 70s, we had Ebola virus because people went into African forests and got infected. These viruses were found in monkeys. In the mid 80s, we had the HIV epidemic, which is still going on. And then, of course, you have had viruses like SARS and Nipah and Ebola, and the latest one being the SARS-CoV-2, which emerged exactly a year ago. I joined medical school in 1973, and in the last 47 years, I have been a medical student. 24 new viral infections have emerged, starting from hepatitis B virus discovered in 1973 to the SARS-CoV-2 virus in 2019. Look at the track record. Every one virus is emerging every 2 years. So if we think that we are done away with viral infections after SARS-CoV-2, we are sadly mistaken. How do you tackle viral infections? There are four major pillars that we use in medicine to tackle viral infections. One is surveillance. Surveillance is being on the lookout for emergence of viruses. It is the systematic collection of data about viral infections, and this data should result in action. That is the definition of surveillance. Systematic collection of data for action. Now, robust surveillance is needed. We should not. What we have learned and what I have seen in 40 years is whenever there is an outbreak, all of us talk about a disease and how it emerges and precautions. And once the pandemic dies down, we get back to our busy lives and we don't have surveillance. We need efficient tools to diagnose. Look at the way COVID has brought about a number of diagnostic modalities and also the number of facilities to make them diagnosis. Building networks. No one laboratory can meet the demand of large populations. So we need to build laboratory networks. Look at what we have done. We have close to 2,000 SARS-CoV-2 diagnostic labs in the country. When would we ever have thought NIMHANS and Dharwad Medical College, the SDM Dharwad, would work together? So I think networks are the future. And of course, we have learned a great deal about how viruses cause disease biology. I will run through some examples from my own experience in virology in the next few slides. With respect to surveillance, what we learned as the only laboratory in Karnataka in 2009, managing thousands of samples received for the swine flu pandemic, came in very handy for the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic. We had learned how to handle large number of samples, how to ramp up testing, how to convert reports into electronic formats because paper reports were impossible, how we to feed data to administrators for policy change, most importantly, handling media, administrators, and politicians, and coordinating with several hospitals across Karnataka. I think this was a great learning curve for us, which came in handy during COVID. One of the neglected diseases I've been working for the last 40 years is encephalitis, popularly known in common language as brain fever. We get large outbreaks of encephalitis in India every year, and the major states affected are shown on the left. In 2005, Government of India introduced immunization. However, the number of encephalitis cases did not come down. You can see the graph in blue line. The numbers have been increasing, whereas the number of Japanese encephalitis virus cases came down as this was one of the major causes. So that led to the question, what is the remaining 80% of encephalitis due to? On this background, we undertook a huge project in Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and Assam, and we engaged with all stakeholders, state government, health authorities, central authorities, medical colleges, district hospitals. We identified sites where large number of cases are reported, built a network, consulted clinicians, decided on what tests to do other than Japanese encephalitis, trained laboratory, built capacity, facilitated sample transport from rural district hospitals to the city, and then, of course, streamlined data collection. These are the 18 sites in which we worked. In every state, we established one referral laboratory, trained them to do a large number of testing, totally 18 districts. We also finalized a testing strategy where we included about half a dozen tests to increase the etiology from only Japanese encephalitis prior to our intervention to identifying other causes of encephalitis like dengue, scrub typhus, West Nile. I'll show that in the next slide. We overall enrolled 15,000 patients in this study over 5 years. This was funded by the Center for Disease Control, USA Atlanta. And the summary is provided in this slide. Through using antibody tests, we were able to detect etiology in 45% of patients, and using molecular tests, another 3.2%. Overall, we were able to detect etiology in half the number of patients. And during this time, in these 3 states, there were 37,500 cases, of which we had enrolled and tested close to 15,000. So it's a large proportion of cases. And most importantly, the commonest etiology we identified was Japanese encephalitis, scrub typhus, which is a bacterial infection, and dengue. And this was very good news. Now, what were the outcomes? We increased etiology before our intervention from 16% etiology to 48%. That is a fourfold increase, a threefold increase in etiology. And most importantly, we identified treatable causes of encephalitis, where a simple antibiotics like doxycycline, azithromycin could cure scrub typhus patients, and the patients used to get up and walk back from a comatose state in Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and in Assam. And all these data that we produced resulted in a major policy shift by Government of India. Today, the Government of India says that for an encephalitis case, minimum you have to do 8 tests. Now, that was the result of the project report that we submitted to the government. We have also been focusing on developing good diagnostics. This is India's first indigenous, in fact, globally, the first diagnostic kit for Japanese encephalitis, which we made in 2006. It got the Best Biotech Product Award, and more importantly, it is used extensively not only in our country and in Southeast Asia, in many other countries. Now, of course, we have passed on this technology to National Institute of Virology, which makes. We also embarked on a very huge project to develop an encephalitis chip. I won't go into details. An encephalitis chip that is simultaneously capable of detecting 16 different viruses and bacteria in a single test. And we showed that this test has very good sensitivity and specificity compared to existing tests. More importantly, where the gold standard tests are negative, this test was able to pick up in suspected cases etiology in 63% of cases. Moving on to laboratory networks, I told you no single lab can contribute to diagnosis. The greatest example is the 750 odd laboratories in the globe that participated in polio eradication. And I had the opportunity of being invited by WHO to set up the first global network for Japanese encephalitis labs in 2006. Now we have established this network in 12 Southeast Asian countries, and subsequently it has been also extended to the Western Pacific region. This network helps diagnose Japanese encephalitis in Southeast Asia. I've also been various capacities associated with several other networks in the country, including the ICMR network, vector-borne network, HIV lab networks, and so on. And this has been a very great learning experience. Now, understanding disease biology is very important. I'll give you two examples. First was H1N1. We know that when disease occurs, there are three major factors: viral mutations or viral factors, host genetic factors, as well as the way our defense system or immune system responds. Now, these three interplay causes disease in human beings. So we addressed this in H1N1 or the swine flu. We looked at people with mild illness, moderate illness, and severe illness and sequenced the virus proteins and found a very unique mutation in the virus, D239G, where one amino acid was substituted in the hemagglutinin protein, and this was a result of severe illness in the patients. We also looked at the human immune response and found that in comparison to seasonal flu, the people with H1N1 showed a very aggressive defense response, resulting in severe pneumonia and deaths. Now, the same kind of phenomenon is also seen now in COVID. So this was a front runner. Coming to COVID itself, we learned two great lessons. The first is during the lockdown, we were able to analyze data and find how the virus spread across Karnataka. Now, this is a heat map. A heat map tells you, depending on the number of cases, you will have a different color. Higher the number of cases, it will be red in color. Few or no cases, it will be green in color. You see, at the end of May in Karnataka, the epicenters were northern districts, the coastal districts, because there's an international airport there, and of course, the highest number of cases were in Karnataka. One great lesson we learned in the COVID-19 is who spreads the infection. So we looked at cluster. A cluster is a number of cases resulting from one source of infection. What you see as a rangoli here is several clusters. The center of a cluster is a source patient who is actually responsible for the spread. You can see this cluster diagram of 46 large clusters in Karnataka. Each circle represents one patient. Yellow means asymptomatic patients. Red means people who had symptoms. In one glance in this Rangoli diagram, cluster analysis diagram, you can make out that the center of most clusters is a symptomatic patient. Now, this is very important public health information. Let me translate it into some simple statistics for you. Among the 46 clusters, 32 clusters had in the center a patient with symptoms. 14 clusters had a patient in the center who did not have symptoms. The symptomatic clusters resulted in 82% transmission, whereas the asymptomatic clusters resulted in 17% transmission. Go to the right side of the table. In terms of a statistical dispersion value, one symptomatic patient can spread to 14 normal people, whereas asymptomatic people, the ability to spread is only 3. The point I'm trying to make is transmission occurs both from symptomatic and asymptomatic people. There is no doubt. However, people who have symptoms, because they cough and they sneeze, they let out millions of viral particles. Their ability to spread the virus is far higher than those with symptomatics. So in a society, we need to hunt, catch all symptomatics, test them and isolate them so that we can cut the chain of transmission. Look at what COVID has taught us about disease biology. Generally, people believe that viruses multiply and destroy cells and produce disease, which is true. But that is not the only mechanism. Here is a virus that multiplies and destroys certain cells in the lung, which actually you can recover from very easily. It is not a major contributor to disease. Then what causes disease in COVID? It is the person's defense system that overreacts, and the complications of the disease are because the virus multiplies in blood vessel lining and then damages the cells, resulting in clot formation, which can result in a number of manifestations like heart attacks, strokes, pancreatitis, and you name it. Today, you know COVID, you know entire medicine. So it is the aggressive nature of the human defense response that contributes to disease. This is what Louis Pasteur, the father of modern microbiology, said on his deathbed about 300 years back. He said the germ is nothing, the terrain is everything. So it's not merely the virus, but the host that determines disease process. COVID has thrown up many challenges, and they are listed here. In terms of public health, it has thrown us challenges in terms of tracking, enhancing testing, and trying to keep the transmission less than 5%. In terms of clinical challenges, look at what we have done. Did not have adequate number of beds, especially intensive care units. 60% of hospitals, district hospitals in the country did not have ICUs, and 40% of them did not have piped oxygen. Can you imagine a country that does not have at the secondary level ICUs? This was a challenge. We rose up to the challenge, provided piped oxygen, and also built ICUs. Today, every taluk hospital has 4 to 5 ICU beds, and districts have 20 to 25 beds, thanks to COVID. In terms of society, panic, negative messaging in media, it's a huge challenge. Fear of quarantine and isolation drove people underground. There's huge stigma and discrimination. There was denial and anger in patients. And of course, this led to a lot of mental agony. So mental health became very important. In terms of prevention, the challenges that we faced were, for the first time, we were told to maintain distance between human beings. We have never done that in our life. We were asked to wear masks. And of course, the big challenge was when the epidemic started, there was no vaccine. And thanks to efforts, now we have a vaccine. So all these challenges, I want you to appreciate the opportunities. The first opportunity is we have realized public health curriculum changes have to be made in medical schools, and it is brought to the center stage. We have used technology like Arogya Setu, Quarantine Watch for tracking and tracing patients. We have cut across disciplines to form expert groups, and then we use this data to drive interventions. And of course, we are also beginning to learn how to communicate honestly and truthfully in a positive way to people. Look at the clinical opportunities. I told you the graph on the right says how low income countries and middle income countries were awfully short of number of ICU facilities. COVID has brought telemedicine, a new form of consultation and interaction with patients. We have started adopting and implementing uniform treatment guidelines. We have learned to rotate our healthcare workforce by working on alternate weeks, and huge opportunity to integrate our ancient system of medicine into the modern medicine. Look at the benefit of yoga on the immune system, or the diet and the nutritional supplements that people are using now. In terms of testing, huge challenge. When we started, Karnataka had a dozen labs in April, and now today we have 175 labs. In a matter of 6 months, we were able to expand thanks to the government's efforts and also the contribution by each of the medical colleges and district labs. I'm very happy the year that I retired, the Medical Council of India has made a regulation that every medical college should have a virology lab mandatory for recognition. And I cannot feel more happy and proud at this moment. Look at the social opportunities. I think COVID-19 has given up a wake-up call. To whom? I think the entire society, more so to politicians and administrators. This is biological war. For a physical war, most countries allocate between 20 to 40% of their GDP in their budget for preparing for a physical war. Health gets a meager 2%. It's time that we also recognize that COVID-19 and other viruses will bring on biological wars. We need a much more decent allocation for health. I would say at least 10% of GDP. Integrating principles of public health prevention into curriculum. We teach children about history of independence, history of humankind, but we never teach them history of outbreaks and epidemics. We teach them geography, but we never tell them where viruses emerge from. We have to start teaching children about One Health concept to maintain environment and animals and treat them with respect. We have learned in society to reduce stress because that's a very important component contributing to disease. Yoga is very helpful. And we have also learned that we should communicate properly to bring about behavior change. If you give negative messages, it will not change behavior of people. And of course, mental health has come to the central focus. Look at the opportunities for prevention. I always say, even if vaccine comes, you should avoid closed spaces, you should avoid crowds, and you should maintain a distance of 6 feet. So watch your distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands frequently. These are simple, yet to bring about change in our behaviors, we need to constantly tell ourselves that we have to protect our loved ones and ourselves. So we have to change our behaviors. Thankfully, in a few months, we will have a vaccine. Most vaccines look promising, and I hope that will help us remember the lessons we learned and not forget and go back to our old style of life and encourage emergence of viruses. IT revolution has made a big impact on virology. People are now coming together, uh, computer scientists, public health people. There's a very nice book called Viral Storm. I would encourage you to read it, which talks about global viral forecasting on how to use data from social media and set up listening posts and warn about emergence of outbreaks. To summarize then, human activities are the most potent factors driving viral disease emergence. I've given you examples. Social, economic, political, and climate changes and protecting environment is very important. If we don't do that, we will encourage disease emergence. COVID has taught us to harness technology for diagnosis and disease prevention. And look at COVID. It changed the history of vaccines. It used to take 6 years for a vaccine to come. From the time of discovery to development to evaluation, now it is compressed to 6 months. Understanding and responding to disease emergence requires a global perspective, and I hope all of us will retain this lesson. Unfortunately, if we don't, the current global situation favors disease emergence, and we will continue to have diseases emerging. So we should be on the lookout for them. Thank you very much. I would like to thank my family for supporting me all these years, my parents, my little sister who died of a viral disease at the age of 14 in 79. That gave me an impetus to take a career in virology. And on the right, you see my elder brother, late Prof. Dr. Kumaraswamy, who was my mentor, my siblings, my wife, my kids, all my collaborators at NIMHANS and abroad, especially those in my department, Professor Chandramukhi, Dr. Anita Desai, and many others, and all the international collaborators from CDC and others, and my staff, dedicated staff in the department. Before I conclude and thank you, 4 books I recommend. They have shaped my life and they've taught me lessons. One I already told you, Dancing Matrix. The second is Viral Storm. The third is one of my favorite books by Paulo Coelho, known as Alchemist. The message of that book is, when you want something, not for yourself and for the good of others, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. The standing example is in front of you. Your Chancellor, Pujya Shri Virendra Hegde ji, I'm sure we relate to this. Whenever you want to do good in a selfless manner, divine forces conspire to help you. On the right is a book written by my classmate, a very famous physician, Abraham Varghese, on his experience with handling HIV patients, and very beautifully he summarizes there, saying, there is more to AIDS than the virus. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more to disease than merely viruses. Thank you very much for your attention. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening and awakening presentation. May I now request our Honorable Chancellor to felicitate our guest speaker, Dr. Ravi. Thank you very much. And we are almost coming to the end of the jubilant celebration. So may I now request Madam Ratnamala to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. One simple arithmetic we should all do more often in our lives, and that is to count our blessings. I deem it an honor on behalf of Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University to count our blessings. I bow and pay obeisance to Lord Manjunatheshwara for his divine blessings and Abhaya Hasta on all of us. It is my proud privilege to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Pujya Shri Dr. D. Virendra Hegde, and Member Board of Governors, Srimati Hemavati Hegde, for gracing the occasion. Sir, you are our leading light and a constant source of inspiration. We thank you and Srimati Hemavati Hegde for your blessings and for releasing the university newsletter. I am extremely grateful to President and Member Board of Governors, Shri D. Surendra Kumar, for gracing the occasion and making it a memorable one. I heartily thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Niranjan Kumar, and Executive Director and Member Board of Governors, Srimati Padmalata Niranjan, for their constant encouragement, continuous guidance, and support at all times. I also thank Vice Chancellor and Executive Director for releasing the university video. 2020 was a disastrous year for the whole world. There had been an unprecedented war against an invisible enemy, the coronavirus. I thank Dr. V. Ravi, former senior professor and head of neurovirology in NIMHANS, Bangalore, and nodal officer, COVID-19, Government of Karnataka, for accepting our invitation as guest speaker. Sir, your talk was lucid and informative, as it is now to learn to live with this virus. Thank you very much for delivering the university oration. I sincerely thank Mr. Saket Shetty, Director Administration, the Board of Governors, Dr. C.N. Manjunath, Dr. Devi Shetty, Professor B. Yashovarma, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. We at STM University would like to express our thanks and deep gratitude to the Government of Karnataka, the University Grants Commission, the National Medical Commission, and the Dental Council of India for their support and help, and we would not have been where we are today without their support. I express my gratitude to Pro VC Academics, Professor Dr. S.K. Joshi, Pro VC Administration, Shri Jivandar Kumar, and our Registrar, Lieutenant Colonel Professor U.S. Dinesh. I thank all the university officials and staff who have worked as a team to make the second anniversary celebrations a grand success. My sincere thanks to all the principals of the constituent units of the university, the teaching and the non-teaching staff, the heads of our sister institutions, the STM Engineering College, JSS, and SKDRP. I thank the editorial committee of the university newsletter and coordinators of the university video. I extend my thanks to Dr. Balram Naik, Principal, STM College of Dental Sciences, for being the Master of Ceremony, and Sri Anant Achar for rendering the invocation. I thank the PROs, Mr. Babarna Shettigar, Mr. Nagraj Kalapur, and Mr. Nagkumar. I thank immensely the members of the press and the electronic media for giving a wide coverage of our university activities. I also thank the social networking and the IT department, the Annapurna Mess, garden department, housekeeping, and the maintenance department for organizing such a wonderful program. My special thanks to Srimati Padmalata Niranjan for taking care of our gastronomic delights. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here and those present virtually, and we thank you all for your good wishes and support, which will be a stimulus and encouragement to take this Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara University to greater heights. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, Madam. And the final announcement. So our Honorable Vice Chancellor asked us to remain hungry, but we can't remain hungry for such long. But I would really thank all of them for being patient for such long. A delicious lunch has been arranged in the Annapurna Mess. I request all of you to join for the lunch. Thank you. One more announcement. We have made arrangement for the purchase of the shirts with the university logo. We all should really feel proud to wear these shirts. So you're all requested to go to the counter and then can search for your size. Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you.